enabling email engagement. Now, this is in the Sales Insights settings, and it's really just a toggle for the administrator. But after you do set this up, you have the situation where the user, when creating a record from the timeline, pops up really a separate window. So they're able to pop that window up with some options like, should I follow up? Should I set a reminder to follow up? What does that look like? Can I schedule this email at a later time? The other thing it does by creating the email in a separate window is allows you to take a phone call, go look for another record, keeping that window open so that you don't lose track of where you are behind a bunch of different windows. So to me, it works out a little bit nicer. And so we'll take a look and see what that looks like right in the application. So back here, I'm on our 3D printer opportunity. Let's go to the timeline here for a second. And if we hit plus and email now with email engagement set up and turned on, you see that I have a separate window to compose an email. And I won't do that right now, but we would track that email coming back. We would be able to set a reminder. And here's that reminder screen. And you could say, if I don't receive a reply to this email by a certain date, then I do such and such. And then there's a couple of options here. If the email is not opened by a certain date, remind me anyways. All of that kind of stuff is available to you in the reminder, which I think is pretty handy and gives you a notification that you've got stuff going. But if you look, say, for example, to go from looking at this record in the background where we compose the email from the timeline, you can come over to, say, My Open Leads as a list and not lose track of that email. So again, you may take a phone call, somebody may ask you a question about another record. You can navigate to that record or to another list and not lose track of the email that you're in the middle of drafting. So I thought that was handy and should allow you to be able to work a little easier and quicker. Go back to our PowerPoint for just a moment and wrap this up. The last thing, I know a lot of customers, as we start to look at their environments, if we have them or inherit customers, or if they come to us with questions or issues, certainly in a lot of places we're seeing they're not taking advantage of maps. Now, Bing Maps is enabled easily. It doesn't cost anything. It really doesn't take up resources to any degree in terms of loading the record and working with it. But I think the big advantage of working with maps is when we take the application over onto our phone, then we're able to get directions right from the app, right from looking at the map. We can kind of see what's going on. To me, that's the biggest bonus for adding maps into the application. The customer service person may not want the map on their form, and certainly you can have more than one form in the system, so that the map is not in the way. It does take up a little geography, if you will, on the form. But anyway, nice. I think a nice addition, especially for those who are mobile and need some directions on where they're making their next stop, whether it be as a salesperson, whether it be as a customer service or service person out working in the field. That's available for them.